welcome into This Week in College Baseball, Week 8 edition, brought to you by Driving the Line. My name is Alan Bell. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. And as we always do, let's start with our brand new top 25. Teams in white means that they stay the same from Week 7 to this week, Week 8. Teams in green means they have moved up. Red, drop back. Teams in blue, welcome to the top 25. They are brand new to the rankings for this week. So won't talk about each team because we're going to break it down even more. But you can see Arkansas continues to be the best team in college baseball, just handling their business, pitching, hitting. They can do it all, fielding. They just don't beat themselves. They just continue to roll. Clemson, Texas A&M, Tennessee, they all move up. You can see we have a lot of movement here in the middle of the field. Teams having good weekends. You look at Dallas Baptist, Duke, North Carolina, Florida State, right? All moving up. Virginia Tech continues to be a quiet wagon in college baseball. You see LSU has dropped all the way to 18th. Virginia had dropped to 15th. Wake Forest all the way back to 21st. And then you see Nebraska, top 25, welcome in. They rank at 24. And UCF, welcome in at 25th. So you could see those rankings there. We're going to talk about these teams much more in depth as we go. Now, here are the key weekend series that you need to know about. All right. Ole Miss at number 1, Arkansas. Arkansas, are they going to continue to keep doing what they're doing? We'll talk about that in just a second. Arizona State at number 5, Oregon State. This is a series to pay attention to this weekend. You're probably going to want to bet Oregon State if you can get it, if the juice is right, because as we'll talk about, they absolutely need to come back to where they were. Number 3, Texas A&M at number 22, South Carolina. Number 7, Vanderbilt at number 18, LSU. Alabama, Kentucky. That's going to be a big series. North Carolina, Virginia. That's going to be a big series. Wake Forest and Virginia Tech. We just spoke about those two teams. That's going to be a big series. And number 4, Tennessee at Auburn. So let's really get into it now with some under the radar weekend series that you need to know. And don't worry, we're going to break these down of what they mean, specifically the ranked teams, but we're going to go through this really quickly. Okay. This weekend, pay attention. Butler at Creighton. Creighton is quietly one of the best teams in college baseball. How they're not ranked, I don't know, but it's going to happen. Butler, they're not there. They're certainly not there, but you're going to see opportunities both to get Creighton pretty decent prices and playing run totals. Pay attention on that one. Creighton can put up runs. Butler, they can as well. Indiana at Maryland. All right, we've spoken about Indiana all year long. They can score runs, and they can give up runs. Guess what? Maryland's the exact same team. They do the exact same thing. You don't know if they're going to win, if they're going to lose, but they're going to score some runs, and they're going to give up some runs. If you're looking for totals this weekend, pay attention to what number the books give. You might find absolute gold with these games here. Middle Tennessee at Louisiana Tech. All right, Middle Tennessee, not a very good baseball team. Louisiana Tech, very good baseball team. Why we have this pinpointed is here. Not only playing Louisiana Tech, if you can get the prices right, I don't know where the books are going to drop those, but Middle Tennessee will give up a ton of runs, and Louisiana Tech does not, but they'll score runs. Take a look here, especially if you get run lines. This could be a nice series to grab. All right, finally. All right, so in week 7, we broke down Nichols and Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and they delivered runs galore. Our series this weekend that mirrors that, Youngstown State at Wright State. I'm serious. Go look at both of these teams once you get done watching this show. Run bonanza. All right, if the books give you this series this weekend, yeah, take a shot here. You're going to have runs that get put up in this series. So, all right, those are your under the radar weekend series that you want to know about. And again, we record this show on Tuesday. So obviously we don't have any of these on the books, right? So we just have to take a look, get our understanding of the big ranked series, the series that the books, I know that they're not paying attention to, and be ready for when they come on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's exactly what we're doing with this show, is getting ourselves ahead. Okay, next. Team leaders here. All right. Home runs. Georgia and Tennessee. They just played this past weekend, and it was a home run fest. Tennessee hit 2 grand slams in one game alone on Saturday. Georgia hit a ton of home runs on Friday, winning 16-2 against Tennessee. But you see Georgia, 82 home runs on the year. They continue to just hit tanks. Tennessee, 73, same deal. Morehead State, pay attention if you can get them. 63 bombs on the year. Virginia Tech, 62. And Austin Peay with 60. Now, the opposite side, pitching. Okay. So the number that you see beside the team, excuse me, is the opponent's batting average this season against said team. So, for example, Arkansas, teams are hitting 196 against Arkansas. Yes, 196. There's a reason why they're the number 1 team in the country. Duke, 197. Kentucky, 208. Vanderbilt, starting to play so much better baseball, 213. And Louisiana Lafayette at 214. So we give you these numbers both offensively and pitching in the field, so you could say, in terms of teams that if you're looking for run totals, both overs, unders, etc., you can compare these teams and their weekend series opponents to see what you might get. Give yourself just an idea of where you're at. All right, next. Coming in hot. Okay, so what this is are teams that are entering week 8 on absolute fire. So we talk about college baseball being a very ping-pong sport, right? Great series one weekend, next weekend, play awful. Great, awful, great, awful. It doesn't always translate every single time across the board, but the reason that we give both the teams coming in hot and then the next slide, what you'll see, teams on a bounce back, is because this is where you can identify certain areas in teams that you can play that ping pong theory, which is real, all right, and find some areas to cash. All right, so Arkansas comes in 4-0 at home against Ole Miss. Kind of like UConn in basketball. Why would you stop? Pay attention to what the prices are. Take a look there. I'm not saying that, Arkansas sweeps. It's the SEC. It's brutal. Every team that you play, pay attention to Arkansas, especially, and this is the key here, playing at home. Home field absolutely matters so far this year in college baseball. So Arkansas, team to pay attention to. Number 3, Texas A&M, 4-0 last week. Now, they're at number 22, South Carolina. Be careful. Be careful. Texas A&M is a team that we have bet on and played pretty much all year long. Be careful with this one. All right, Vanderbilt coming in 4-0. All right, ranked 7th in the country. At LSU. Here is where it gets dangerous. All right, and we'll talk about teams that need a bounce back in just a second. Vanderbilt is coming in as hot as ever. LSU coming in needing wins. Pay just a quick look at LSU. See what you get. Might want to give it, a Friday look here. See what it looks like in this series. But this could be a way to play LSU. All right. We see Vanderbilt drop back a little bit. LSU step up a little bit. Definitely going to get it. Really nice prices. All right. Dallas Baptist. 4-0 last week at Western Kentucky. Be careful there. Western Kentucky's a decent little baseball team. But Dallas Baptist, they just find ways to win games. They're not always pretty. They're not always super high scoring. You could get 5-2, 5-3, 6-3, those style games. Just keep an eye. I don't have a strong opinion yet on either side. Just keep an eye. North Carolina coming in 4-0 at Virginia. Another one like Vanderbilt and LSU. North Carolina coming in as hot as ever. Virginia needing wins. All right. And Virginia's been a wagon except for last week. We'll talk about them in just a second, but keep an eye on Virginia at home. This could be a series and a team that you find really good pricing on that you could see stealing some wins at home. Kentucky, 4-0 at home versus Alabama. Keep an eye there. Kentucky can hit. Kentucky can pitch. They can do it all. They might continue to roll. We'll see what they do. Now, the opposite side, the bounce back. So we just spoke about teams coming in hot. Let's look at the other side. Oregon State, 0-2 last week. They had a game that was rained out at home against Arizona State. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I am betting on Oregon State this weekend. I think that they have a big, big bounce back. Wake Forest went 1-3 last week at Virginia Tech. Oh, no, Wake Forest. They already scare us. You can't trust them at all. They get trust issues all over the place. At Virginia Tech, who's just a wagon and playing well. And then at home, might have to roll Virginia Tech here. We'll wait and see what prices that we get. Also pay attention to the totals there. Oklahoma drops out of the top 25. They went 1-3 in week 7 at Oklahoma State. No opinion from me. I can't trust Oklahoma. I can't trust Oklahoma State. You might have better information on it than I do, but nothing there from me. We just spoke about LSU. 1-3 last weekend at home against Vanderbilt. Yeah, this could be a place where you find it. All right, you're going to get a good price at LSU, even though they are at home, which doesn't happen a lot. Keep an eye on that series. Virginia, just talked about it. All right, at home versus North Carolina. Went 2-2, which is not terrible last week, but it's not what we've seen all year long out of Virginia. So you could get really nice pricing right there. Keep an eye on Virginia. Lastly, Georgia, 1-2 last week against Tennessee on the road at Mississippi State. Mississippi State's a good baseball team. I keep an eye on runs. I don't know where I sit with Georgia just yet, right? Like I just don't know, especially being on the road. And a place that's going to be rocking. Mississippi State fans, they take their baseball damn seriously. I don't know if I'm jumping on the Georgia train to bounce back strong, but pay attention to the totals. You might get some low ones because Mississippi State is such a good team in regards to keeping runs low from opponents. And Georgia, I don't care who they're playing against. They may not win the game, but they'll drop bombs and score runs. So pay attention to the totals on that one. Finally, diamonds in the rough. Here you go. Like I said, the books have caught on to our ranked teams and the teams that we like to bet. So here are some numbers to keep with you this week and weekend. This is where you can really hammer at them. Understand, again, we record this on Tuesdays, and college baseball seasons are really kind of two different ones. You have midweek games, and you have weekend series, all right? So these stats might get a little, changed, I guess, so to say, on Tuesday night games, Wednesday night games. Don't pay attention to all that. This is about, well, except for the Air Force stat here, but this is about the weekend series. So don't pay too much attention. These are just some trends to pay attention to of where these teams are at. Appalachian State, all right, averaging 13.2 runs per game over their last 7. They are mashing at the plate. Creighton, spoke about them against Butler. They are 20-4 on the year, and they have not lost back-to-back games all season. Keep an eye on that, especially if they win, especially if they lose. Air Force, they played 7 midweek games this season and lost all 7. That's right, all 7. Okay, Texas. They've lost the opening game in 3 straight weekend series. Keep an eye on that trend there. Last week, like I said, we spoke about, Nicholls State and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Did not disappoint in terms of runs. 25 of Nicholls' 30 games this season have seen double-digit run totals. You don't always get Nicholls games from the books available to bet, but just jot them down. That's a team. Just jot them down. If you see it pop up, you already know what to do. Finally, Illinois. They've won 5 straight and they've scored 11 plus runs in all 5 of those games. They are on absolute fire at the plate, mashing, hitting, everything. Yeah, Illinois, keep an eye on that squad as well. So that's all the time that we have for you this week. Like I said, it's going to be a great week and weekend of college baseball. And as always, I am damn proud to share a dugout with each and every one of you. We will break all of these series down Friday, Saturday, Sunday, have all the bets, everything, 10 a.m. Eastern time on all of those days, as you know. So don't worry, right? Like this show isn't about setting the picks. Well, we don't have any odds to use anyway, but this is about just kind of setting the plate, understand what we're looking at, and then this weekend we attack and we know and we have a plan. There we go. All right. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's cash all these picks all week long, not only in college baseball, but everything else. We will be live tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time. But until then, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.